waiting for, I got a little sneak peek earlier, and let me say you guys are definitely in for a treat. Please just give our young people another hand clap as they come up to say all their speeches. All right, so let's get started with our very first contestant, Isaiah J. Brown from Central Baptist Church.
Good morning, church. Good morning. My favorite subject is science. And studying light makes me think about hope, strength, a beacon, and God. But now that I'm the ripe age of 12 years old, I realize I live in a world of darkness. Evil is all around. And if Dr. King was here today, he would encourage us to be the light that drives out the darkness by respecting each other, preventing violence, and showing empathy to mankind. My parents tell me, treat others the way you wish to be treated. And that includes not taking things that don't belong to you. Not long ago, someone saw an SUV from our garage when we were sleeping. You never think it's going to happen until it happens to you. I know there are bad things in the world and bad people, but when you respect someone, you also respect their property. Dr. King would remind us to work hard for ourselves and not violate other people's freedoms. It's important that we shine our light on this truth. We should also prevent violence. In 1999, many students lost their lives at Columbine because of a school shooting. But just a few years ago, while my three brothers and I were attending Littleton schools, there was another shooting. They put both of our schools on lockdown. I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was one of the craziest days in school. I saw an officer outside, suited up. All my other lockdowns had been like hiding in the corner. And this was not a test. I was like, where is my mom? Mom was not gone yet. That's when I became afraid. I'm thankful people weren't hurt, because no one should be afraid by losing a life, by dying by being shot at school. We have to be the light that conveys that message to those in the dark around us. We can also be a light by showing empathy, thinking about how someone else feels. I attend Central Baptist Church, where my dad is a pastor, and we've shown empathy by feeding the homeless, sharing Christmas gifts, and fresh groceries. My great-grandma said, I don't care how bad you think you have it, there's always someone else that has it harder than you. That's just one reason I want to shine brightly. Light reminds me of Jesus. He showed up in a dark world, and there was nothing brighter than him. He still shows up in the darkness, and for all that want to follow him. He's a beacon today. Nothing with mass can move faster than light. Not sound, not bullets, not anything. Light travels over 186,000 miles a second. We move very quickly when it comes to jumping on the latest trend or getting the latest fashion. But I pray that we can move faster than light when it comes to extinguishing darkness, so we can fulfill the dream of Dr. King. Let's make that go viral on social media. Lights, camera, action.
Good morning, Central.
Good morning.
Now tell me, have you ever gone into a room and there was something you needed, but you couldn't see a thing? Now you may want to rely on your memory. Perhaps you know exactly where it is. But there's a good chance that without a very important light, you are destined to hurt yourself in one way or another. I believe that we live in a world filled with darkness. People are hurting each other at an alarming rate. And if Dr. King was here today, I believe that he would say, let's be the light that drives out the darkness. And I'm confident we could do that by leveraging our language, growing in church, and controlling our English. Language is a powerful thing. The Bible says that life and death is in the power of the tongue. I know this to be true because I have seen words lift someone's spirit and break someone's heart. I'm a 5th grader at home elementary. And one day, a good friend of mine who was considered special needs was crying in the hallway. I was very concerned and asked him what was wrong. And he informed me that someone had been harassing him in a way that was very hurtful. I chose to be a good listener, offering solutions to the problem, and strengthen our friendship because I wanted to be a light that drives out the darkness of hate that someone else could experience. We learned to drive out hate from the greatest source that there is, of light that there is. That's the light that comes from our Heavenly Father. I believe that Dr. King would tell us another way that we can drive out darkness is by making sure that we stay in church. In church, I love to express my appreciation for God through the vocal cords He blessed me with. So I lift my voice and sing in the choir. One of my favorite moments is when the preacher, my father, Reverend Michael Henry II, tells a story from real-life experiences and turns it into part of the sermon. Then I have clear examples of how I can be the light by following in His footsteps. God knew that I needed this kind of guidance in my life because I believe that there are some who hope the darkness will consume us. My Bible tells me that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and kids my age are no exception, especially when it comes to controlling our emotions like anger. Dr. King understood this well. The worst challenge that I have ever faced is when I try to keep it all in. The people keep pushing me. It gets to the point when there's too much steam coming out of the teapot and I just have to pour it all out. Sometimes it has made me want to resort to violence, but that is not God's way. I believe Dr. King would encourage us to be the light by pursuing peace with all men. And this is great advice not only for fifth graders, but for politicians as well. How can we be the light that drives out darkness? By understanding so much of our future is framed in our language. I have learned that a harsh word stirs anger, but a soft answer turns away wrath. Dr. King would want us to avoid listening to people and ideas that are filled with hate and inappropriate speech. This means that we should also control our tongue. James chapter 3, verse 5 says, "A tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. But oh, how great a matter a little fire kindleth." There will always be evil around us, but when we enter a room, the atmosphere should change. Our kindness should shape our character. Our friendship should change our frequency of gathering. In honor of Dr. King's shining example, may our lives be luminescent so that when we leave this earth, it should be brighter than we found it.
All right, for our third contestant, we have Karis B. McMillan from Central Baptist Church.
Good morning, Central.
Good morning.
I have something I'd like to share with you guys today. Have you ever been in a hospital? Do you remember visiting someone you love that wasn't doing very well? I do. More than a few times, and what I remember most is that sometimes they don't come back. It got worse. And no matter how dark it seemed, they took comfort in knowing because of their relationship with God, they were going to see the light to the other side. Dr. King said we should become the light that drives out the darkness. I believe we can achieve that by supporting people in coming out of depression, focusing on our mental health, and ensuring that we don't let anything hold us back from experiencing the fulfillment of our freedom. I have a very big concern. I believe that depression is a huge downfall in our generation. Many people feel like they don't have anything to lean on. Some people find themselves in such a dark place that they begin on considering ending their life. I know more than one person who has done it. The thing is, when you take your life, that doesn't mean you found the best solution. I am confident that this is a bigger problem than people realize. In Colorado, suicide is the leading cause of death from ages 10 to 24. And we have one of the highest suicide rates in the nation. To be the light, we need to encourage them to talk to someone, a professional, a family member, a friend, and most importantly, they need to talk to God. Speaking of God, He didn't just create our bodies, He also created our minds. He expects us to care for both, but sometimes we only focus on the physical. Mental health is extremely important. When people don't take care of their mental health, it can put them in a very dark place. It's not limited to depression. It can also include how we handle our stress, deal with anxiety, respond under pressure, or when we're upset. When I'm upset, sometimes I just exit the situation so I can come back more calmly. This can work for others too. For those who need more help, there are many ways to improve our mental health. Being the light means that we share those ways and resources with others. Lastly, but not least, we must recognize the darkness that holds us back. It is connected to many limitations. There are some limitations that others put on us because they don't want us to see successful. We must fight against that. Dr. King said, we should continue to fight for equality for all, but there are some limitations that don't come from the outside, they come from within. There are too many situations where we limit ourselves. Do you want to be the light? Show others how to live up to their full potential. Be an example of guiding people on to do what's right. Remind them how important it is to have faith, because God never fails. These are the best ways that we can shine our light into the darkness. Nothing in this life will be easy. Each person has their own challenges. For some, those challenges start earlier than others. My challenges started in first grade. There were many things I didn't understand, and though I tried my best, I had to stay an extra year to get right. That was difficult for me, but I didn't give up. I had a great support system at home, and I believed in myself. I tried harder, studied more, and kept pushing forward. It felt very dark in the beginning to see my friends go ahead, but I never gave up. Today, I'm graduating early. I went to a special school, did extra work that will cause me to build my skills and confidence. Now my future is bigger than ever. The darkness did not win in my life. The darkness doesn't have to win in yours either. We can be the light that extinguished it. Will you shine your light? I'm definitely going to shine mine. Thank you.
We have Kevin J. Moreland from Living Hope Bible Church.
Good morning.
When I was in elementary school, I had some of the best days of my life. Aspen Crossing was a place where I met great friends. One of those friends was Joshua. And I was willing to do just about anything to help him. That was including being a friend to him when others were unkind, because Joshua was getting bullied. So when I saw him get mistreated, I chose to step in. The bullies did not like it, but that was not my concern, because right is right, no matter who's involved. I believe that this is the mindset we should all have. In fact, if Dr. King was here today, I believe he would encourage us to be the light that drives out the darkness by stopping violence, taking better care of our homeless community, and developing into leaders we need for the future. Not long after Dr. King was assassinated, there were many urban riots in the 1960s. Since then, violence has risen even higher throughout the United States. In 2024, there was about one violence offense every 278 people. Over 70% of violent crimes were aggravated assaults, while others included robberies, murders, and other terrible events. Too many people are getting hurt for something they didn't do, sometimes just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Others are injured in crossfire when they had nothing to do with the problem. This should never happen. This may seem unrealistic, but why don't we just talk it out? You would be amazed how much we can accomplish with just a simple conversation. It may not be easy, but it's certainly more powerful than ending someone's life. We could be the light in the darkness by having crucial conversations. Speaking of conversations, can we talk about the homeless community? In Colorado alone, homelessness is at an all-time high. From 2023 to 2024, homelessness in families increased by 124%, which is one of the worst in the nation. There were over 18,000 people on the streets because of how expensive it is to be in a home. A bad economy and many other factors also play a role in that. If we believe in equality, that means people are just like us, right? We all deserve a place to stay. So why are people sleeping on the streets with signs up that shows that they need help with their basic needs? What they really need is a place to live. Some people say, well, they put themselves in that situation. But I believe being a light in their dark circumstance means helping them to discover how to take new paths that can change their lives. To make this kind of difference, it is important to have powerful leaders like Dr. King. I believe if he was still here today, he would continue to impact our society and really show the benefits of equality, bringing balance and peace to the world. But today we have a terrible problem. Too many followers are going after the wrong goals. To be honest, we don't have enough good leadership. People are just following after what they see others do. They copy behaviors that they think are cool, assuming that is the right way to go. However, many times the choices are not. They are harmful. Dr. King will want us to be the type of leaders that can lead our communities to greatness, that creates a light that can never even be put out. I'm prepared to be the next great leader. Are you? Because we can only put out the darkness together. One of the most difficult tasks that we may ever achieve is figuring out where we belong. It can be challenging to know who to talk to, how to fit in, or if fitting in is even the best choice at all. We all want to be part of the community, but we don't. But we have to learn to do that in a way that doesn't cause us to lose our identity. And we should help each other along the way. As I walk that journey myself, I work to bring others along with me. It's why I received a special award for improving the experience of a transfer student who was new to our environment. I helped him adjust, share a kind word, consider how I could assist. I chose to be the light. There's plenty of darkness around every corner, but in our heart is the right place. We can extinguish it. Just join me in being the light that drives out the darkness. Then we can fulfill Dr. King's dream in more ways than one. Thank you.
Lastly, we have Kennedy B. Sims from Cheyenne Missionary Baptist Church.
Good morning. I am Kennedy Sims. I am blessed to be born in Colorado in 2014. Because of that, many people think I don't know much about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. However, I know that he was an activist and protested against segregation. In fact, if he was here today, he would want us to be alone. If he was also here today, he would want us to drive out of the darkness by being smart, courageous, obedient, and standing up for ourselves. We have many opportunities to be smart and courageous. It's important that we take advantage of them, especially on the ones that we love the most. Many times, our feelings are not perfect. We may say or do things that may hurt one another, but God teaches us to forgive. If we don't come together, we can just make our futures very dark. If you don't believe me, just turn on the evening news. By sharing love in hard circumstances, we can show the light of Christ. If there's ever a time to shine brightly, it's right now. I know this from my mother and grandmother. I've had the opportunity to be in church my entire life at Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church, in the choir, dance team, youth Bible study, and even children's church. This is where I learned how important it is to be obedient. The Bible says children obey their parents in the Lord, for this is right. But I've seen many kids my age who don't respect their elders. That's a big problem. When you ignore their wisdom, you're on the way to a very dark road. I don't want to just see the light, I want to be the light. That's why I was the first person that my pastor baptized, Reverend Michael D. Henry II. This is also another way that Dr. King would want us to be an example that others can follow. When you are a leader, leaders must stand up, have good qualities of a leader. Leaders must stand up for themselves so that they can stand up for someone else. One of my friends accidentally injured someone at school one day. She tried to apologize, but the classmate was very unkind. I stood up for her and told her to apologize for what happened. They were able to solve it out and talk. Being a light also means helping others find the solution. Darkness does not have our destiny. God gives us so many other opportunities to help others in so many different ways. I've been a Been a member of the Youth Bowling League in Greenwood Village for the past 7 years. Sometimes when I'm competing, I've noticed others that felt sad or defeated, but I told them you have to believe in yourselves. When I believed in myself and I practiced hard, I advanced to a higher skill level. Some of my friends were sad because they felt left behind, but I made a good point to inspire everyone on my team, past and present. And I can already see a difference. We have to use the gifts God has given us in difference in others' lives. It can be a dark place, but we can change that one person at a time. If you meet someone in a dark place, use your shine to brighten their day. Dr. King's dream can live in me and in you. Thank you.
All right. Last but not least, we have Delon J. Willis from Central Baptist Church.
I'm thankful for many things in my life. My faith, family, and friends are among them. But I am also thankful for how God meets my basic needs, like food and shelter. I remember when I was still very small, my entire family was tasked with making sandwiches. I was helping in the process, but the sandwiches weren't for me. I was following the instructions without understanding why, until we left our home. We put these sandwiches in individual bags. With my dad and my mom, I went out to a community of people who looked just like me to provide food for them because their basic needs weren't being met. It was my first experience with the act of kindness, an unforgettable opportunity to be the light. If Dr. King were here today, I believe he would tell us that we could be the light that extinguishes the darkness by bringing comfort to those who find uncertainty in the future, supporting leadership that is representative of all, and eliminating discrimination based on how people look and sound. In a way, things are pretty crazy with the world right now. For some people, it seems there's no way to be sure of what will happen later on, especially people my age. When I go to school, people are worried about what they'll do or become in the future, whether they'll be accepted by the school of their choice or if they'll ever be able to make it on their own. The truth is, things can really go either way. However, I feel like we should be able to somehow make it better. It may seem like a small problem, but if their anxiety gets out of control, it can become very dark. We may not be able to answer every question they have, but we can think of new ways to make things more affordable and ease people's worries about their ability to be successful by giving them the tools they need to survive. I'm happy to help those in my generation, but I realize that the world is made up of more than just people my age. I have a concern though. I feel like leaders that we currently have don't exactly think about the people or population beyond themselves. They may be a part of one population, so they don't really consider others. And that's visible in ways that I'm not comfortable. I'm not criticizing the leadership to be disrespectful, but I do believe that it is important that the people that are guiding our communities go beyond mainly just representing the group that they belong to. In order to drive out the darkness, we must vote for and become leaders who are representative of all. Representation. That's an important word, especially in our country. It gives us the opportunity to appreciate everyone in their uniqueness, the way that God created them. I love how diverse we all are. In fact, it's one of the reasons I've become interested in language. I began speaking Spanish in elementary school, and I've used it to communicate with people who are both different from me, as well as the same. This summer, I'll be traveling to Madrid and Barcelona, Spain, as well as Paris, France, to surround myself with languages that are different from my own. But I've noticed something that really bothered me. In my own school, Spanish speakers were often mistreated, not just by students, but by other teachers, because of how they look and sound. That's why I challenge those behaviors, respectfully, to remind everyone we should not judge others by what's on the outside, but what's on the inside. What better way to be the light than to shine on the dark behaviors that we know are wrong? On February 8th, 2026, the world watched as the NFL hosted its 60th Super Bowl. As a Spanish language learner and speaker, I was excited to see a fellow American from Puerto Rico, a fellow young man, a fellow minority, become the first performer speaking exclusively in Spanish to have shared the language of music on the world stage. I know everyone may not have understood the words. There were words that I didn't understand as well. But I didn't understand the message, the pictures, the struggles, and the victories. I understood the message in English behind it that said the only thing stronger than hate is love. I believe that's a message that Dr. King would definitely approve of. Can I ask you a question though? Why would you want to provide an alternative message to that? I can think of some reasons, but I'll say this instead. Mi familia, nosotros podemos trabajar juntos en amor. My family, we can work together in love. So let's be the light that drives out the darkness once and for all. Muchas gracias. Para ayuda.
Let's give all of our young people a hand. Very, very well.